Say it, mercy. Some days, this is a story. Some days, it's just a thought that wants to be shared. A pause, a breath. Lighten your load. Remember to breathe. Let joy find you. Say it, mercy podcast. Hi, this is Mercy. Have you ever had something in the back of your mind? Maybe an idea, a thought, what I call bubble thoughts. Something that comes close to trying to get your attention. It comes every now and then. And when you noticed, you move it onto something else. You say, some other day. And it slowly fades back into the background. I don't know if you have had those, but I sure had a lot of those. And sometimes it fades completely. It never comes back. But then all of a sudden, there's those who just continues to come back every so often. And that's what happened with this podcast. I started a podcast many years ago, many moons ago. Tell you the truth, it was even before they were streaming in a way that we could easily put a podcast together today. I was trying to do video and then audio and GarageBand from my Mac Pro, but I did it. And for a while, I had some episodes going. And then other projects came into priority. Life asked for my attention in different ways, and especially me. I'm very creative. My brain is constantly in a creative mode. And without drama, I just let it fade away. I thought, I guess it was not for me to do. It was not meant to be. Have you heard that? It was not meant to be. Don't worry, honey, that was not meant to be. And that's what I thought. And yet, every so often, this little idea of the podcast would come in. It's more. Say It Mercy started as a blog in WordPress many moons ago when I was trying to break from a belief that I was not a writer. So you see how Say It Mercy has been coming about, I think, for over 20 years. I guess I'm a slow learner. And yes, it comes all of a sudden with a bang and says, guess what? This is your next project, no matter what other project you have with you or active or open. And so this is what happened this year. Say It Mercy podcast just did not want to fade away. It just wanted to do it. It just wanted to have voice. It just did not want to disappear again. Maybe it was because it's the perfect timing now, as the so-called perfect timing. We'll discuss that in other episodes about that famous phrase, divine timing, perfect timing. So here, I would say, quietly in the background, Say It Mercy podcast has continually lived. And this year, it just said, no more fading away. It was gentle, by the way. The Big Bang was not as strong as when we say Big Bang. It was a very gentle, solid awareness inside of me that I knew that I couldn't just put it aside. And for sure, not because I planned it this way, but because at some point it became clear that this was not going away. The podcast didn't want to fade anymore. Say It Mercy came to life, and it's not going anywhere. It felt like it was time to give it a voice. But boy, I assure you, my inner voices were all doubters. Have you had that? When you're trying to do something new and your own voices are saying, "Are you kidding me? You at this age with so many people doing the same thing?" That happens when you start writing. The same thing happened to me. You're going to start that now? When was you a writer? It was not an outside voice. I always have had a lot of support outside of me through my families and close friends. They've always encouraged me to go ahead with my creativity and my projects. It is me, the one that has been postponing and being the critical judger. Is it perfect? Is it not perfect? It's maybe I don't have the right lighting. I may have not the right equipment. There's so much going on out there. So many people doing already podcasts. So many people already doing writing books. But this time, a stronger voice was taking hold of my bubble thoughts. I don't know if it has happened to you, but I'm just gonna tell you, if you notice, embrace it, because sooner or later it's going to come back. Say It Mercy is a space for reflection, for the thoughts we don't always say out loud, for noticing what's already moving inside of us before we rush to define it. Some days this may be a story, other days just a quiet sharing. Nothing polished, because for sure, if I had to do a lot of perfectioning, a lot of defining and polishing, this podcast would not go out. As it is, it's already a month behind. So I gave in. I gave in to just doing it as natural as possible. Nothing rush, nothing so perfect that it becomes a professional produced podcast. Nothing nothing that would deter me from not doing it. I had to make it simple, authentic, organic. Someday you may see me a little bit with makeup and sometimes not. By the way, for those who are listening to this podcast, I do have a YouTube channel, Say It Mercy Podcast, if you want to join it and see my face. So, as I was saying, this podcast is just sharing. It is my natural habitat, I would say, since I was a little girl. Fascinated seeing people sharing stories, being the witness when I was a little girl with my parents and their friends, and the joy that it brought when they were sharing stories. So you're not going to find something here of an expert, nothing, not something to explain, not something to teach, and definitely not something to coach. Just something that emerges. And hopefully you may notice your emerging thoughts and bubble thoughts. And I hope to invite you to just allow them to be. Softly, it makes room for itself. It weaves into you until familiar. like the sound of your own name, your own voice, which is, by the way, for a lot of clients, I'm a coach and a mentor, I'm a Akashic teacher, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, I don't want to hear my voice." And others say, "Oh, I don't want to see myself in video." And I tell you, it took me a while to hear my voice. In my case, it took me was 25 years ago when I started doing hypnotherapy, and I did recordings for meditations because my clients asked me, and I surely made the recordings, but I didn't like to listen to them. That's that little perfectionist little voice that we always carry with us. So, in this quiet beginning, giving voice to what has never really left, here we start. I hope you can be a companion into this conversation. It is not going to be a coaching or giving you what to do or not to do. There's plenty of people with that expertise. If this resonates with you today, if listening to a light conversation about life and how we are reacting or not reacting to it, how we can get out of a slump, maybe, how can we get unstuck? Then I invite you to follow me. Follow this podcast. Enjoy me. Join me into the YouTube channel, Say It Mercy Podcast, and let's see what brings us. Because to tell you the truth, I don't have anything preordained already. I don't have anything in topics that says I'm going to start with one and then I'm going to follow with two. I want life to take me to an impromptu. What is going on with whatever is happening around me? Life is full of opportunities, just as it's full of disasters and sad stories and heartbreaking stories and cruelty. It does have the other side. So let's see what life brings us. In the meantime, perhaps a quiet beginning is already emerging in you. Have you noticed? Thank you for being here, for listening, and for honoring your soul's whispers. If today's reflection spoke to you, I invite you to share it or subscribe in whatever way feels natural to you. You're also welcome to connect with me on YouTube or through my Substack's Reflections, where this soulful journey continues. Until next time, may your story unfold with clarity, tenderness, joy, and light.